What if I told you there is a simple natural leaf that is revolutionizing the health of thousands of older adults around the world? It is not a new medicine. It is not a trendy product. It is something you probably have in your kitchen, or could get very easily. But what is surprising is what it is doing for real people. Older adults in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who have seen their blood sugar levels drop, their bad cholesterol decrease without aggressive medications, and who have started to lose belly fat without strict diets or strenuous exercise, simply by adding this leaf to their daily routine. Too good to be true? That is exactly what many people thought, until they tried it. Today we are going to speak clearly and without exaggeration. This is not a magic miracle, but it is a natural, science-backed discovery that can profoundly improve your health. In this video, I will tell you everything you need to know: what this leaf is, how it works in your body, how to prepare it correctly, and what mistakes you must avoid so it truly works. If you are over 60, if you struggle with diabetes, high cholesterol, or belly fat, this video could give you a real, natural, effective alternative. By the way, how old are you, and from which country or city are you watching us? I would love to know. Leave it in the comments. Let's get started. The silent triple threat: diabetes, cholesterol, and belly fat. When we talk about health after 60, there are three enemies that usually show up together and in silence: diabetes, high cholesterol, and belly fat. The curious and also dangerous thing is that they are not isolated problems. They are deeply connected to one another. If you have one, you are likely to have the other two, or to develop them over time. It often begins with a simple rise in bad cholesterol, something that seems minor. You get a routine test, you see that your levels are a little elevated, and you think, nothing serious, I just need to take a bit more care. But the problem is that bad cholesterol, LDL, starts to build up in your arteries, hindering circulation, forcing your heart to work harder, and affecting blood flow throughout your body. Over time, that also alters how your body responds to insulin. The pancreas starts working overtime, releasing more insulin to try to keep sugar under control. But your cells, already inflamed by excess fat, begin to resist. And that is where prediabetes is born, without you noticing. At the same time, that same hormonal imbalance makes you store fat in the most dangerous area, the abdomen. It is not just an aesthetic issue. That abdominal fat releases inflammatory substances that affect the liver, the kidneys, the heart, and also the brain. All of this often happens without symptoms. That is why it is called a silent triple threat. It does not hurt, it does not warn you, and when you realize it, you are already dealing with three problems at once. Let's think about the case of Ernest, a 74-year-old man. When he retired, the only thing that worried him was his cholesterol. He took one pill, got lab tests every 6 months, and felt he was under control. But over time, he started to gain weight. First, it was 3 kilos, then 5. Later, his waist kept expanding even though he did not change his eating habits much. One day, he felt more tired than usual. He thought it was age. His doctor decided to run a full checkup. That was when the real problem appeared: insulin resistance and above normal glucose levels. Without noticing it, Ernest had gone from having only high cholesterol to being on the verge of developing type 2 diabetes. This case is not unique. It happens to millions of older people every year. And the worst part is that many only receive treatment for the symptoms: medications to lower sugar, others for cholesterol, and a generic diet that often does not work. But the root of the problem is not addressed. What if there were a way to confront all three at the same time? What if there was something natural, accessible, and effective that could help you regain balance at the root? That is exactly what we are going to discover in the next sections. Because yes, there is a leaf that could become your best ally to control sugar, reduce cholesterol, and eliminate the fat that does the most harm. And you do not need to spend a fortune or radically change your life. You only need clear information and to take action. What conventional medicine does not tell you. For decades, many older adults have placed all their trust in conventional medicine, And that is understandable. If a doctor tells you to take a pill to lower cholesterol or to control your sugar, you do it. After all, you trust their expertise. But there is a big truth that very few dare to say out loud. Most of the medications prescribed for diabetes, cholesterol, and obesity are not designed to cure you. They are designed to control you. Statins, for example, are the most common medication to reduce bad cholesterol. Yes, they can lower blood levels, but they do not eliminate the root cause. They do not de-inflate your arteries. They do not restore your natural metabolism. They do not heal your liver. And many people who take them begin to suffer side effects such as muscle pain, weakness, liver problems, and even cognitive changes. In the case of diabetes, one of the most prescribed medications is metformin. And although it is useful for regulating blood sugar, it is not a definitive solution either. Some people suffer stomach upset, diarrhea, or constant nausea. Others develop a vitamin B12 deficiency over time. And the most serious part, many patients, even while taking the medication, do not manage to reverse the disease. They only contain it. Let's think about the case of Teresa, a 69-year-old woman who was diagnosed with prediabetes more than 5 years ago. Her doctor prescribed metformin right away. He also recommended watching her diet, but she did not receive real guidance on what to eat, how to do it, or how to help her body naturally. Trusting the pill, Teresa went on with her life as usual. In the first months, her tests showed small improvements, but over time, the levels rose again. The doctor increased the dose, then he added another medication for cholesterol, then one for blood pressure. Teresa went from taking 1 pill to taking 5. And yet, her body did not improve. She felt more and more tired, more bloated, with less desire to move. Until one day, a neighbor told her about an infusion she drank every morning. She said that since she had added it, her tests had improved, her waist had shrunk, and her energy levels had returned. Teresa doubted it. How could a natural leaf be more powerful than 5 pills? But something inside her told her she should try. And that is how, without abandoning her medical treatment, she began to drink that infusion every day, on an empty stomach. She did not expect miracles. She just wanted to feel better. And what happened next surprised her completely. Her sugar levels began to drop, her cholesterol stabilized, her digestion improved, and for the first time in a long time, she felt that she was in control. She was not just covering up the symptoms, she was helping her body heal from within, and that is how she came to discover the power of a simple leaf. A natural, humble leaf, but with incredible properties. A leaf that has been used for centuries by ancestral cultures and that today is being rediscovered by modern science. The discovery. What is this miracle leaf? Bay leaf. Yes, the very same leaf many people use to flavor soups, stews, or braises. That green, dried leaf that looks so simple hides healing potential that has been underestimated for decades. But the truth is that its medicinal use is not new. Ancient civilizations, such as the Greek and the Roman, already used bay laurel as a sacred plant. In ancient Rome, laurel wreaths were placed on the heads of emperors as a symbol of wisdom and power. But it was not just an adornment. Healers of the time used it to treat inflammation, digestive issues, joint pain, and even respiratory disorders. In many regions of Asia and Latin America, bay leaves have been part of folk medicine for generations. Elders would boil them to relieve stomach pain, regulate digestion, and control blood pressure. It was passed from grandparents to grandchildren as quiet yet powerful knowledge. And the most interesting part is that in recent years, modern science has begun to validate what ancestral wisdom already knew. Recent studies have shown that bay leaf contains bioactive compounds such as cineole, eugenol, and tannins, with antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-diabetic effects. One of the most cited studies, published in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition, showed that daily consumption of bay leaf for 30 days helped significantly reduce glucose levels in people with type 2 diabetes. But that is not all. Its essential oils have also been shown to help decrease LDL, the bad cholesterol, while maintaining or even raising HDL, which is the protective one. In addition, it eases fat digestion, which helps reduce abdominal bloating and supports the loss of localized fat, especially in the belly area. Compared to other so-called superfoods, such as turmeric, ginger, or moringa, bay leaf has a very clear advantage. It is easier to find, more economical, and does not require complicated preparations. It is enough to boil a few leaves in water for 5 to 10 minutes and drink that infusion once or twice a day. But there is more. While some natural ingredients act on a single problem, for example garlic on blood pressure or green tea on fat, bay leaf has a complete effect. It works on blood sugar, lipids, and digestion at the same time. And that makes it a true ally for those facing several problems at once. This is not magic. It is natural biochemistry. It is about giving the body the right tools so it can rebalance itself without relying solely on synthetic drugs. Many older adults who have started drinking bay leaf infusion regularly report feeling lighter, having fewer sugar cravings, faster digestion, and an overall improvement in well-being. In the next section, I will tell you exactly how this leaf acts inside your body, which internal processes it stimulates, and how constant use can help you transform your health from the inside out. How this leaf works in your body, a simple, powerful explanation. When we talk about a natural leaf like bay, it is important to understand that we are not dealing with a magic solution. What this plant does is help the body regain its balance, and it does so in a quiet yet profound way. First, let's talk about blood sugar. Bay leaf infusion helps improve insulin sensitivity. This means your cells begin to respond better to the hormone that regulates sugar. When that happens, the body needs to produce less insulin. Sugar stops accumulating in the blood, and it begins to enter the cells, where it is transformed into energy. That change alone has a huge impact. Fewer glucose spikes, less fatigue, fewer cravings. People who have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes can notice a significant improvement if they are consistent. Then there is cholesterol. Bay leaf contains antioxidants that reduce the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, which is the kind that sticks to your artery walls and forms plaques. By reducing internal inflammation and improving circulation, it also promotes an increase in good cholesterol, the one that cleans the arteries. It is like having a natural street sweeper in your cardiovascular system. Now let's think about belly fat, the kind that is so hard to eliminate. Bay leaf acts from several fronts. First, it improves digestion. It stimulates the production of bile and digestive enzymes, which helps you process fats and heavy foods better. If you eat something that usually makes you bloated, you will notice that bay helps reduce that heavy feeling. But in addition, by balancing sugar and cholesterol levels, the body begins to release the fat accumulated in the abdomen. Little by little, without extreme diets or impossible sacrifices. And there is something more. Bay leaf supports the elimination of toxins through urine and the digestive system. It cleanses the liver, detoxifies the kidneys, and activates the metabolism. What does that mean? That your body starts to function like when you were younger. You burn calories more efficiently. You have more energy. You sleep better. And it shows, inside and out. Let's set a realistic example. Mary is 72 years old. 3 years ago, she was found to have elevated glucose levels. Her doctor told her she was close to developing type 2 diabetes. He gave her metformin and a diet that was hard to follow. Mary felt frustrated. She did not lose weight. She woke up tired, and the results did not improve. A friend told her about bay leaf. She said, "Just try it. Make an infusion every morning. You have nothing to lose." Mary did it skeptically. But by the second week, she noticed she did not feel so hungry between meals. She started sleeping better. Her belly deflated. After 30 days, she went back to the doctor. The tests showed something she did not expect. Her glucose had come down naturally. It was not a miracle. It was consistency. It was giving her body a tool that had been forgotten. And that worked. That is how this leaf works. It does not change you in one day. But if you adopt it with discipline, it can transform your health little by little, without side effects, without spending a fortune, and without relying solely on medication. How to prepare it and how to take it correctly. Now that you know the power of this natural leaf, the big question is, how do you take it? Which form is most effective? And what precautions should you keep in mind? The good news is that bay leaf is easy to prepare, inexpensive, and you do not need any special product to benefit from it. There are several ways to consume it, but the most commonly used, and also the most powerful, is as an infusion. You only need 2 to 3 dried bay leaves. Put them in a small pot with half a liter of water. Bring it to a boil, let it boil for 5 minutes, and then turn it off. Let the infusion sit for another 5 minutes with the lid on. Then strain it, and it is ready to drink. It is important that you do not add sugar or sweeteners. If you wish, you can add a few drops of lemon or a cinnamon stick to improve the flavor and boost its digestive benefits. There is also a powdered option, which can be mixed in small amounts with hot water or natural juices. Some people prefer bay leaf capsules, which are pre-dosed, although these tend to be more expensive and less effective than the whole leaf. And how many times a day should you take it? If your main goal is to control blood sugar, the ideal is to drink 1 cup on an empty stomach before breakfast and another after dinner. This helps stabilize glucose at the times when it can fluctuate the most. If you are looking to reduce cholesterol, it is recommended to drink 1 cup after lunch to aid the digestion of fats and prevent them from accumulating in the body. In the case of belly fat, the key moment is in the morning. Drinking it on an empty stomach activates your metabolism early and prepares your body to burn calories more efficiently throughout the day. One possible daily routine would be like this. Upon waking, 1 cup of hot infusion on an empty stomach. After lunch, a 2nd cup, warm. And if necessary, a 3rd at night, half an hour before sleeping. But attention, not everyone should consume bay leaf without care. Although it is a safe plant for most people, there are some important warnings. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, it is best to avoid its consumption without consulting a professional. The same applies if you are taking blood thinners, medications for blood pressure, or if you have severe liver problems. You should not overdo the amount either. Drinking more infusion per day will not get you better results. Everything in excess can be harmful. 2 or 3 cups a day are enough to obtain real benefits without overloading your body. It is also important that you do not mix it with other strong herbs or supplements without guidance. Sometimes combinations can interfere with its effect. The ideal is to integrate it into your daily life as a simple habit, effortlessly. Always keep some dried leaves in the kitchen. Prepare your infusion each morning while you do your routine. Drink it calmly, like a small health ritual. Because taking care of your body does not have to be complicated. Sometimes one small, steady action has more impact than any expensive treatment. What can you expect? Real results in the short and long term. Now that you know how to prepare and consume this leaf, it is important to have clear expectations. This is not an instant cure, nor a magic solution that acts from one day to the next. But if you are consistent, the results can be surprising, and above all, long-lasting. In the first days, many people start to notice small changes. More energy upon waking, less heaviness after eating, and something that surprises many, fewer sweet cravings. This happens because bay leaf helps stabilize blood sugar levels and avoids those ups and downs that make you feel exhausted or constantly hungry. You may also notice that your digestion improves. If you used to suffer from gas, bloating, or constipation, those symptoms will likely be reduced. Bay leaf stimulates bile production and eases the digestion of fatty or heavy foods, which is key for many older adults. After 2 weeks of consistent consumption, between 1 and 2 cups daily, more visible changes begin to appear in lab tests. In many cases, fasting glucose levels drop by 10 to 20 points. LDL cholesterol begins to go down, and good cholesterol, HDL, tends to rise slightly. Those small shifts in your lab values are a clear sign. The body is responding. It is rebalancing from within without forcing it with chemicals. And the most striking changes arrive around the first month. At this point, if you have been consistent and have accompanied bay leaf consumption with a moderately healthy diet, the effects on belly fat begin to show. Some people lose between 2 and 5 centimeters from the waistline without extreme diets or intense exercise routines. Mr. Arthur's case is a good example. Mr. Arthur is 75 years old. He lives alone, is widowed, and he has always had a prominent belly. Not from overeating, but from years of poor digestion, little activity, and out-of-control glucose levels. His doctor had warned him that he was entering a risk stage. So when he heard about bay leaf infusion, he decided to try it. For 30 days, he drank his infusion every morning on an empty stomach without fail. He did not make big changes to his diet, other than reducing white bread and fried foods a bit. By the second week, he noticed he was sleeping better. By the third, his stomach no longer felt so inflamed. And when he measured himself with the tape he used to tighten his pants, he discovered he had lost 5 centimeters from his waist. But beyond the physical change, what surprised him most was how he felt. Light, active, with more mental clarity. Something he had not felt in years. That said, it is important to clarify that every body is different. What worked for Mr. Arthur in 30 days may take someone else more time. Some notice changes quickly, and others need a bit more patience. Metabolism, previous habits, and overall health status matter a lot. But if there is one thing that nearly everyone who has tried this leaf agrees on, it is this. It is worth it. Because it not only improves your tests, it improves your overall well-being. It gives you back control over your body, and that, at any age, is an invaluable gift. Habits that block this leaf's effect, and you must avoid. You already know that this natural leaf can help improve your health, but you must also know something just as important. There are certain habits that can completely block its benefits, even if you drink it every day. They are common mistakes. Small things we do almost without realizing it, but that have a huge impact on how our body functions. And if you do not correct them, no matter how much infusion you drink, the results will be slow, or even non-existent. The first is hidden sugar in the diet. Maybe you no longer add sugar to your coffee. Maybe you gave up pastries. But do you check the labels of what you eat? Many products that seem healthy, such as cereals, yogurts, or boxed juices, are full of hidden sugar, and that excess sabotages bay leaf's effect on blood sugar. If each day more sugar enters than your body can process, no plant will be able to rebalance you. The second mistake is eating dinner very late. Eating after 8 or 9 at night forces the body to work when it should already be resting. The digestive system becomes slower with age, and any heavy food at that hour turns into inflammation, acidity, and belly fat. If you drink bay leaf infusion and then have a heavy dinner at 10, it is like swimming against the current. Another habit that cancels bay leaf's effect is combining it with ultra-processed foods. Packaged cookies, cold cuts, industrial breads, instant soups, and anything that comes with an endless list of artificial ingredients inflame the body. It is like throwing gasoline on a fire. Bay leaf can help cleanse your body, but if you fill it with toxins every day, its effect gets diluted. So what can you do to multiply its benefits? Here are 5 simple changes that can make a big difference. 1. Read the labels of what you eat. If a product has more than 5 ingredients, or if you do not recognize some of them, think twice before consuming it. 2. Eat dinner early, ideally before 8. If you can, even before 7. And keep it light, a homemade soup, cooked vegetables, or an omelette. 3. Drink enough water during the day. Bay leaf helps eliminate toxins, but you need water to flush them out through urine. If you do not hydrate well, that process gets blocked. 4. Walk at least 20 minutes a day. You do not need heavy exercise, just move. That stimulates the metabolism and reinforces the infusion's work. 5. Avoid excessive stress. Anxiety raises blood sugar, even if you do not eat. Breathe deeply, take breaks, sleep well. The body needs calm to heal. Change does not depend only on one leaf. It depends on you, on your daily choices, on your consistency, on your willingness to make small adjustments to feel better. Remember, your body is not against you. It just needs a little help. And when you give it what it needs, real foods, rest, movement, calm, it responds with gratitude. Why not everyone knows about it? and why pharmaceutical companies do not want you to know. At this point, you might be asking yourself, if this leaf is so powerful, so easy to get, and so effective, why had no one told me before? The answer is simple, and also uncomfortable, because it is not a business. For years, natural remedies have been relegated to second place, not because they do not work, but because they cannot be patented. A plant like bay leaf does not generate millions for anyone. It is not sold in packages with flashy brands. It does not require advertising. And in a health system dominated by the pharmaceutical industry, that makes it invisible. Chronic diseases, such as diabetes, hypertension, or high cholesterol, are a goldmine for many companies. The more patients depend on daily pills, the more stable their income. It does not matter whether those people heal as long as they keep buying. And note, this does not mean medications are not useful. In many cases they are, and they can save lives. But when they become the only option, when they are prescribed without exploring alternatives, and when the power of nature is hidden, something is wrong. Many doctors do not talk about these remedies because they do not study them in depth. In their years of training, they are barely taught about nutrition or medicinal plants. Most curricula are designed around pharmaceuticals, and the scientific research that does exist on bay leaf or cinnamon, for example, often stays out of the big headlines. And then there is social pressure. Claudia, a 67-year-old woman, experienced it firsthand. After 5 years taking metformin and statins, she decided to make a change. She educated herself, did research, modified her diet, and began taking natural infusions every day. In a few months, her glucose and cholesterol levels dropped naturally. Her doctor, surprised, allowed her to reduce the medication. But when she mentioned it at a family gathering, some criticized her. That is dangerous, they told her. You cannot abandon medicine, they insisted, even though she never did it without supervision. Claudia did not let herself be discouraged. She knew how she felt, and she knew her body was responding to something deeper than a pill. What she understood, and what you can understand too, is that your body wants to heal itself. It is not broken. It is not condemned. It just needs the right tools. And many times those tools are not in a pharmacy, but in nature, in your kitchen, in your daily habits. The power is not outside you. It is inside you. Of course, there are moments when conventional medicine is necessary, but there is also room to complement, to prevent, to strengthen your health with methods that have accompanied humanity for centuries. You do not have to choose one or the other. You can integrate the best of both worlds. You can inform yourself, make conscious decisions, and regain control over your well-being. And most importantly, you can share this knowledge with others. Because maybe you do not need it today, but someone close to you does. If you have made it this far, you already know there is a natural, simple, humble leaf that can help transform your health. It is called bay leaf, and it has been there all along, waiting for you. It is not a miraculous cure, nor a passing fad. It is a powerful tool that can help you regulate your glucose, reduce bad cholesterol, and de-inflate the abdominal area that causes so many problems in adulthood. And the most important thing is that you do not need major resources to incorporate it. Just consistency, willingness, and a bit of hot water each day. You learned that the ideal is to take it as an infusion, preferably on an empty stomach or after meals. That it should be avoided in certain cases, such as during pregnancy or if you are taking blood thinners. That its effect is enhanced when you cut hidden sugar, eat dinner earlier, and reduce processed foods. We also saw testimonies of older adults like you who took the step, who did not sit around waiting for someone else to heal them, who took action, and discovered that the body, even after 60 or 70, can change. It can improve. It can heal. Because the truth is this: it is never too late to start taking care of yourself. It is never too late to give your body a second chance. It is never too late to feel better. Do not settle for living halfway. Do not accept that fatigue, inflammation, or dependence on medications are the only path. There is another way. There are other possibilities, and they start with you. Each infusion is a gesture of love toward your body. Each conscious choice, a step toward a fuller life. And each day you decide to try, you are showing that your health matters to you. So I invite you to make a decision today. Prepare your first infusion. Try it for 1 week. Observe how you feel. And if you notice changes, even small ones, keep going. Trust the process. Listen to your body and be consistent. And if this video helped you, if you learned something new, share it with someone who needs it. It could be a brother, a friend, your partner, your neighbor. Because this kind of information can change lives, but only if it is shared. By the way, before you go, how old are you, and from which city or country are you watching us? I would love to read your comments. And if you have already tried this leaf, tell me about your experience. It will help others who may still be hesitating.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking care of yourself.
And always remember, your health is in your hands and also in your cup.